Thank you for joining us. Now, you have a clicker. You're going to take us through, in the background, some of the images of the amazing projects you've built around the world. But we come at an interesting point for architecture when we're thinking more and more about how architecture can be in harmony with nature. And I know this is a thing that you think about. What's your ideas about how it does connect with nature?
Yes, in 20th century, modernism buildings is made by industrial material, concrete and steels, and that kind of materials is totally against the nature. And I'm trying to bring back natural material for the building and for the city. And with contemporary technology, to bring back natural material is not so difficult. Today I prepare a slide and to show his examples of bringing nature back to the city.
And tell me, what does that require? Is that the materials you use? Is it building in a more gentle way on the landscape? How do you create this harmony with nature?
Yeah, as a material is very much.
Shall I click this for you so we can start seeing some of the images?
Yeah, could you?
Should we try? There we go.
Yes.
So yeah,
Thank
you just have to press the green one very strongly.
Yes, and this is a good example of bringing nature to the city. As an Olympic stadium in the 2021 Olympic, it is the first wooden main stadium for Olympic. And this is a wooden stadium. And to use natural material is connected with craftsmanship, the local craftsmanship and the local material, and they can work together. And then it is not only for aesthetics; it is connected with social system, and it's connected with economy, and then bringing natural material is the platform to create that kind of new system.
And tell me, you use a great deal of timber in really beautiful, crafted ways in your buildings. Because I know the other thing that you think about is how you connect with humans, how you make it feel that this is something that human people respond to. Is timber one of those materials that helps connect architecture to us, to ordinary people in the cities?
Yeah. Even for the big city like Dubai, we can use as a natural material for the big building, and with contemporary technology, and as wood can be treated in the new way, and as natural material is not material of the past. Natural material is material for the futures, and natural material is also reduce the energy cost. And as a Tokyo Olympic building, we did use wood and natural ventilation. We try to avoid the air conditioning as possible as can with the simulation of natural wind, and also with the support of AI, we can reduce the energy, and we can feel natural wind. And the energy and natural material is also very closely connected.
And Kengo-san, when you begin to use timber at this scale in really important buildings, is it possible to then reduce the quantity of steel you need, the quantity of concrete you need? Does it make you create a building that's better for our environment as well, in the reduction of those other materials?
Yeah, so the reduction of energy, and also for us, the personal, the psychological effect is very important. So we are also doing this research and study about the relation between the space of natural material and our psychological the situation. And as a very positive effect we can get from natural material. And also for kids, to live in the natural material is very important for kids. And that they can reduce the stress and they become very, very relaxed in the natural material. Actually, the Olympic Stadium did very good result with natural material. Athletes like to live in natural material.
There's lots of the people in this room who are probably involved in commissioning large buildings, wondering how you impress people, but how you make people feel special in a space. You're creating some very big buildings, but how do you make sure that when people come inside that they have this feeling, as you say, there's tactile materials, they feel calm, they feel welcome in a big space? Is there in your brain, is there a complication sometimes between building very big things, but making sure that everybody feels very special and human inside?
Yeah, it is related with intimacy. The whole scale of the building, sometimes it should be huge, but each spaces can be intimate and warm, and with the support of planning, we can create that kind of intimate space, and intimate space can change our experience totally. And even in the big city, huge city, so we can create small, intimate space.
I know we're going to speak about some other projects, but just while this is up, it's interesting also when we think of contemporary architects wanting to impress us, that here you have an architect who sometimes makes the decision to make the building almost invisible, to hide your hard work. When you look at this picture, what was your thinking when you made this building? What made you decide that actually we should be a little bit quiet at times as well?
Yeah, the quietness is very much necessary in this kind of difficult situation. And the people did want to have the monument. So in the last 50 years, people want to build monument, icon. But in this kind of difficult situation, we should going back to silence. And for example, this museum, we try to integrate into the landscape, and there's no monumental gesture from the building.
Now, one of the other questions I wanted to ask you, your Japanese heritage feeds into these amazing buildings that you make. They're right for Europe, they're right for this region, but it's informed by tradition. And I think we're seeing here in the Gulf a return maybe to understanding some of the traditional building values that helped keep buildings cool, even in the heat, without resorting to air conditioning, for example. So when you think about architecture, how important is it for all of us to think about the balance between modernity and tradition?
Yeah, this slide is a good example of the balance between modernity and traditional heritage. And in the traditional buildings, we can learn many things. The joint system of wood, we apply this as a bridge, is coming from traditional joinery system. And traditional joinery system is very flexible, and Japan has a lot of earthquake, but this flexible system is designed to against earthquake, and because it is a soft system. And then the modern, as a balance between the modernity and the tradition is totally easy, because both should go together. So without the collaboration of modernity and tradition, so we cannot go to the next step of the building.
And just quickly tell me, when you go and visit civic leaders, mayors around the world who are thinking about new buildings for their cities, is this sometimes a difficult conversation to say to people, okay, think differently, you can use different materials, you can make something which is beautiful but perhaps less demanding of your attention immediately? Is it a good conversation when you go and see city mayors these days?
Always, we need conversation.
Yeah.
As a conversation with the place, conversation with the people, and I don't want to push my philosophy and my aesthetics. The city should be the result of conversation, and both should respect each other. And respect each other is the basis of that kind of design.
And just tell me, coming back to this idea of almost unseen architecture, which I think is a fascinating notion, when you look at lots of the things that you build, whether because they are low slung or the materials, they almost disappear into the scenery, into the background. This amazing building made from bamboo, it's like it's a chameleon hiding in the landscape. It's matched to fit the space around it. How important is it for you sometimes to say, let's almost hide the architecture around us?
Yes, and this is a good example of as a relationship with a place. The location of this bamboo house is besides Great Wall in China. The Great Wall is a very important monument, but we didn't want to fight with Great Wall. So we want to do the dialogue with Great Wall, and the dialogue is the best way to show the harmony in the space, and the harmony is most important.
And do you think these invisible, hidden pieces of architecture, to come back to the point you made earlier, can they affect, in a positive way, how we feel in our cities? If you almost don't notice what it is that's changing your mood and your emotions as you go through a city, is unseen architecture in a way, is this important for just making people in their day-to-day lives feel a bit better about how they feel?
Yeah, I think we are working with many countries and many cities, and I'm feeling the people as going back to quietness, going back to harmony, and maybe there are many reasons. The global warming, the environmental crisis, and the war, that kind of crisis is pushing us going back to quietness.
One of the places I know that you're working with is here in Dubai. You're making two new little parks, two pocket parks. Almost architecture now is about the spaces in between as much as the buildings. It's those bits in between that make things special. Tell us finally about the project that you're doing here in Dubai.
Yes, actually, we are working with some project. Some as a project in Dubai is a towers, but some project is a public space. I think as a city, needs new type of public space, and the monument is a prototype of age of economy, but as a public space, should be the protagonist for the age of lifestyle. I'm very happy to design the public space, not necessarily to be symbolic, but it's a very intimate, quiet public space, bring people back to the city, bring back to the walkable experience.
Thank you, Kengo. And how amazing that that conversation that we need to have with cities is happening right here in Dubai. Kengo-san, and thank you so much indeed.
Yeah, thank you very much.